when I don't need a man to pay a bill, I don't need him to do, and I only need him to be. I need him to be vulnerable. I need him to be committed. I need him to be honest. I need him to be trustworthy. I need him to be open. I need him to be transparent. When I need him to be the man versus needing something from the man, it just makes that relationship a whole lot more accountable and a whole lot more mature. Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Purpose and Powerful Podcast, episode 28, The Evolution or Illusion of Independence. I'm Erica Lester, your host here, along with my esteemed co-host,
The real Jabril Wilson.
Wonderful. Good to see you, Jabril.
Same here. Thanks so much. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday to you as well. Thank you very much. So this episode, we're going to dive deep into the journey of successful independent women who achieve their goals and dreams, but find themselves navigating the complex world of relationships, where independence has gotten you this far in your career, has gotten you this far in your life in general. But when it comes to being in romantic relationships, that independence can cause a problem if you don't watch it. What questions do you have?
Well, for you, I definitely want to not attack you, but just find some things out. And how has your independence, Erica, contributed to your success? And what benefits have you enjoyed because of your success?
So me personally, that's what you're asking. Yes. Independence has allowed me to thrive, not being attached in most instances. So I'll describe myself independent in terms of my personality, my way of life, and then also in an attached versus detached situation. So in my personality, I've always been very independent because it's just who my mom has raised me to be, to kind of be independent in thought, word, deed, have my own thoughts. It's helped me thrive in my success because having to think on your feet, having to deal with things independently. I'm a free thinker. I work independently. I develop my own independent process to things. I do, research. I do continued fresher education, all those things. But I still have to take that information, sift it, figure out my way of approach. And then because I make everything personable in my profession, that independence serves me well. Now, in a detached versus attached perspective, in terms of relationship, being independent and single has helped me also thrive because I work a lot of late nights. I travel a lot. I do a lot of things that if someone that was really expecting me to work more of an 8 to 5 and be very available, I would not be able to give them that. So, but because I can work the hours that I do and I can travel the way that I do, I really don't have a hard stop, if you will, when it comes to accepting opportunities, expanding in my business, or saying yes to things that I would normally have to and should discuss with someone else. So that's how it's helped me.
Right. So that also helps you with your purchasing decisions because it's yours. If you want to buy it, you can buy it. You can buy more than one unapologetically. And you can, I guess that's a nice thing. I mean, being independent. However, how is that independence conflicted with maybe some times when you may want somebody to lead you, or just imagine if somebody said, hey, you don't even need to get that. I've already taken care of it. So do you ever find yourself where the independence is sometimes a conflict, where you just want to be treated, not you doing it, but somebody else treating you like a lady and things that you would truly deserve out of life from your mate?
Absolutely. So the independence can cause a conflict sometimes when men that are not used to someone like myself that is so self-assured, so self-confident, so self-sustaining, so soul providing, right? That is causing some type of friction because if the man has been always the man in the situations in terms of the breadwinner, the sole provider, or mostly of the provider, wanting to do things because he's needed, he has to find a different kind of need with me. And the need that I have is different than most women would need. What am I saying about that? I always say this even to women that I counsel and things like that is, if the man is looking to do what he's always done with who he's always been with, that might cause issues for him when it comes to me. See, I don't need a man to pay a bill. I don't need him to fix my car. I don't need him to wash my car. I've developed in my independence a system for myself. For example, the car washing. They come to my place of work, they detail my car and take it off from like 7 to 3, bring it back. It's out there, bring the keys in, pick up the check from the front desk. They're on their way. I meet them at like 7 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so when it comes to taking me to dinner, I will most likely have gone a lot of places that I was interested in being a foodie, that he would have to be very creative where he wanted to take me. And another thing, if he wanted to do something special, because I do special things for myself all the time, spa trips, day trips, vacation trips, different things like that, he'd have to be very creative. And I would never be in a position to not be accepting, because I think sometimes women could be so independent that they're like, they don't want to accept a gift or something, or they have a high expectation for somebody outside of themselves, and recognizing that A, they don't have to do anything for you at all, and B, appreciation goes a long way. So when I don't need a man to pay a bill, I don't need him to do, and I only need him to be. I need him to be vulnerable. I need him to be committed. I need him to be honest. I need him to be trustworthy. I need him to be open. I need him to be transparent. When I need him to be the man versus needing something from the man, it just makes that relationship a whole lot more accountable and a whole lot more mature. But
that was strong. That was strong. Be the man.
yeah, so
For sure.
but it has been because, like I said, when a man is used to doing stuff, it's hard for men to adjust to finding their way with me. And I've experienced that before. They're like, well, you don't ever need anything. You don't need me. I'm like, I do need you. I need you to love me. I need you to respect me. I need you to adore me. I need you to do all these other things that no one puts a focus on as much. But I appreciate you washing the car. First of all, I want to say this. I'll know that guy is a new level guy when he washes my car, as I just explained my system. So that means that he would have to come get my car from me, or pick it up, or come by and drop it off. And he would have to be very intentional about doing that for me. But I do appreciate a man that I've been like really blessed in terms of men that I've dated that will, come cook a meal, do different things like that. What do you need? I'll bring it over. Need anything from the store, that kind of stuff, where I'm not expecting it, and all of a sudden you can bring some sugar through or some flour through or something. That's been a nice surprise. But I have actually had to dial down intentionally my independence when I'm with men, just to show them, hey, I can roll in a submissive role, but I need to trust you first. Hey, I can be a lady. I don't need to open. As a matter of fact, I don't open my doors. This is one expectation that I leave to the man. So I make room for that man to be a man without it buffering in an independent way. I find it more challenging when we're having to make decisions together, as being where the independence, I really have to monitor, check, and make sure I'm giving place to the male in my life. But it's all adjustable. I just say that.
Adjustable and negotiable. Thank you. Thank you for I would wonder, and I don't, maybe a joke, but maybe I'm serious. Have any of these guys that washed your car ever had enough guts to try to step to the plate and see what would happen?
No, I've had two husbands and they didn't wash my car. So that's why I said that would be a new interesting wrinkle. If a man presents that, then I'll be like, look at him kind of different. Like, wow, okay.
What about the, well, that's what I'm saying. The guys that take your car now, you say, I don't want a tip, I want you. How would you respond to that? Because I wonder, based on your independence, have you found that you attract certain types of partners? So I'm wondering, would a guy who washes a car be attracted to you, or would you allow that? Because they could, and they might be shut down if you've put some resistance up front. So I really want to know this.
Well, I tend to be, when it's business, I tend to let business be business. So I'm never looking for those particular opportunities.
Okay.
Unfortunately for me, is a husband and wife team that actually does my car. It's same way with my lawn care. Most of the people that I do business with that are in business, they have their significant other, have a spouse or something like that in their lives that they're committed to. So I don't meet men in that way, but I do attract men in a different kind of way. So for example, I was just mentioning last week that I met this guy. We both sitting in first class.
Uh,
We had a funny little thing happen with my seat neighbor where he was a little inebriated and was kind of rude, but not to me, but across the aisle at other people. And so he asked me, can we grab a drink? And I'm like, drink? I don't drink. And he was like, well, no, just he says, is this your destination? I said, this is my final destination. But, this was different. I will give this different. So he says, yeah, okay. Well, he said, well, we'll go with me to my gate. We're just to walk and talk. And we did. And so he pulls up to the Delta Sky Club, scans this little thing. We go on in. We're both platinum medallion members. So that was a different edge. So that was dating up front, flying up front, dating up front. So that was an interesting twist. But he said, I really appreciate how like laid back you are. And I was like, I really made it very intentional in my mind that I was going to be very relaxed on this trip. And I would move how I needed to move where it wasn't just business. We had a great conversation. I told him he had 15 minutes. We talked for 2 hours. It was pretty cool. He
Oh,
turns
wow.
out he was a business owner, those things. So every time I run into things like that, it expands my concept of being found. So then I'm like, okay, well, because you never know where you're going to meet the people, but I think you just have to be authentically you, no matter where you are, and give room, give place to be found, to be attractive to somebody you would want to. You have to be open. So there's a certain stance that a woman will have in body language that says, approach me, don't approach me. And I slowed it down for the brother to talk to me because I could have just gunned it out of there, got my rental car, been on the road, went on to the mastermind. But he was a nice guy for the most part. But it just depends. I'm not always looking for that. So I think that's why I don't attract that. Like people
You
that
can
are
focus on
in
it.
service related businesses that are serving me.
Interesting. This is because you don't look for it, you don't focus on it, so it usually doesn't come. But I
Right.
see a pattern. I see a pattern. I see, so for business, you're able to attract men who are already married. So you feel more comfortable with that. Just how this podcast, me being your co-host, you met Takesha first, then we work together. So you always, I mean, that integrity that you have is really good. You believe in putting everybody together. But for business, you do that and you're more comfortable with that because of your business relationships. I can tell that that's something that you're more certain about because you're about business, but you want the person who's married to that man to feel comfortable. So you compensate for that and make arrangements for it. So I think that's pretty amazing and just a tribute to you. So I appreciate that. What
Thank
I've
you.
You're very welcome. What I've also noticed is that sometimes the women in your category that men are intimidated. What do you do, or what would you suggest to other women that are in similar categories to you to make a man feel a little bit comfortable and not feel as intimidated. And I'm not putting it all on you, because a man should come with his own, knowing who he is as a leader and as a man, especially if he's saying, come with me and let me lead you. But I just want to know, are there little hints or something that you can share with our fellas so they know?
Absolutely. Yes. So one thing that I've always held to be true, no matter what that man's profession, no matter what that man's background, because he could own a whole landscaping company, but look like he's the janitor, you know? But my grandmother taught me that hello belongs to a dog. So why do I say that? It's because, you know, when you smile at someone and that smile is genuine, it's very disarming, and it lets that person know that you're approachable. Now, depending upon the day, what they see you driving, what they see you wearing, how they see you carrying yourself, that would elevate whether or not that man felt confident within himself enough to approach you. So when I'm just being business and I don't want to be bothered, I'll still smile, but you could tell business, all business. But I would say, you know, just relax. If I can grab something that you say at times, I'm just like, just relax. Like I said, when I wasn't even trying to meet anybody when I got on that flight. I was just saying, I'm just going to relax because this is my time for me. You know, I'm already at the airport. I've already loaded my bags. I'm a captive person until the next 52-minute flight time, right? But I would say to just relax, because who you're trying to be found by, the characteristics in the man you're looking for, they are out there. And then not being afraid to say no. You know, if the man does not fit the bill, you don't have to go back and forth saying, you know, I really appreciate it. Can I have your number? No, I don't think that's necessary, but I do appreciate meeting you. So, and that was interesting. We texted back and forth for a couple of days, and he never called me on his own. He did ask me if he could call me, and I said sure. And that has happened. But we're both business owners. But I was never putting stock in it. Like I'm waiting for his call.
It was a nice moment. It was a good pastime.
Yeah,
2
I'm
hours.
not waiting for his call. It's fine.
Next,
It's cool.
So everyone hears that she's still available and approachable. So I'm just giving a plug.
I appreciate people who appreciate me, and I appreciate them for recognizing. I mean, I know that it's disarming, and when I say just relax and just be you, I probably attract men even more so because everything about me is really natural. This is my natural hair. These are my natural teeth. These are my natural eyes. This is my natural body. This is, you know, my natural, genuine self. And so men that are so used to seeing that, especially being in bigger cities and different things, they look twice at me. They're like, I don't know, like, what's happening? So I'm getting that, a lot more of that lately, that they're like, oh, that's your hair. Oh, wow. You know? And so I'm just saying, just relax. Even if you have all the other enhancements, they're looking for you. They're not looking for that. It's nice to look like a doll and beautiful and all that stuff. But, you know, he's going to see you not in all that at some point. So
Absolutely.
why don't he get used to that? So when I dress up or we go to formal events and things like that, I always get like the biggest compliments because they don't see me all dolled up all the time.
I love it. I love it. I think that that's natural. And they say if you want an organic relationship, you want it to be organic inside and out. And you want a man who has his teeth. And if he doesn't, he needs to just tell you up front what's going on. So when you marry him, he's not gummed up. You know that he has his teeth. And I have a friend who married someone, and that's what she ended up with on the honeymoon. So it was a traumatic experience for her. The marriage, of course, didn't last because one lie leads to another, and it all uncovered. Men with hair, what you see is what you get. If you have a man weave or something, you got to let the person know. Even if you look good with the man weave, you should let your spouse know. I think that these things are are essential. I mean, it's just nice to know what you really, who you're really marrying.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Not only that, who you're really dating. I think for me, I always make it very clear that I need honesty. I need transparency. I need vulnerability. I'm always with that up front because I say to them, to him, here's the thing. I'm human and so are you. So I'm going to disappoint you at some point in time. I'm not going to do anything to impress you because I don't want to set you up for a false reality. But one thing I'm not going to do is lie to you. And I expect and I want the same things in return. So you are the person that is going to teach me how to love you. I already know how to love. I already know how to love a man well, but I don't know how to love you. You have to be the person to teach me the love that you need because it's not a cookie cutter process. One might like me being domestic and cooking and cleaning and all that great stuff. And the other man's like, I don't need all that. He can do all of that, knows how to do all those things. I'm like, great, because that's fantastic. But we need to be upfront with each other and say, here are the things that I need from you as my mate. When you first get into the table, I just need you to be my friend. I don't need you to be my man. I need you to learn how to be my friend so that when you and I can't communicate on the relationship end, we'll still be able to communicate as friends.
Yes, we talked about that last Sunday, about men just starting just being a friend, learning how to do that before they jump and do all this other stuff, especially because they're kind of like damaged goods. We're talking about that, how they now all of a sudden want a woman who's doesn't have a lot of miles on herself, but he's all burnt up, and now he wants to expect some money to just come to him. That's not fair, and it's an unrealistic expectation.
Absolutely. I agree. But being the friend means that you don't have ulterior motives.
Right. Or extra expectations. I mean,
right.
just being honest and being loyal as a friend. But other than that, you shouldn't expect a lot. And now let me ask you, if you're just friends, I mean, really just friends, do you expect the man, I mean, if you're just hanging out, to just pay every time you go out and you're just friends?
No.
Even if you like him and he knows he likes you, just to pace it out, to set, because I think that once men start paying, I don't know what it is in their mind. It's kind of this mindset of pay to play, and you don't want to play. You want a partner, and if you send a message that's not right or mixed, it'll get them. So I'll give you an example, and this is me being transparent since we have a few. It was a lady who was very attractive. I mean, very attractive, really nice, and it's a little older than me. But oh, and by the way, let me preface this. This is pre Keisha, pre-marriage, all of this. This is way, 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 way back. So if anybody's listening and sees this, just know that this is a story, something that happened easily 20 years ago, before my first wife. But you know how these stories are. You can remember it like it was yesterday.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Lady was great. And she would offer us to go out and eat. And I mean, I knew she was older than me. So of course I wanted to show her that I'm a real man anyway. So I already wanted to pay. I wanted to show her, if you're going to go out and eat with me, I'm paying. And every time, I promise you, every time, she would not let me pay. I mean, I couldn't, I don't even, it wasn't even a fight. Whatever she did, or if had gone to the bathroom or something, it was paid. And it started to make me feel really uncomfortable. And I felt rejected. But do you know why I felt rejected? So, back, little story for this. So when I got married, the first time I got married, she came to the wedding. So she came as a friend. She had another friend with her, a young lady with her, like a roommate. And she said, your wife better look out. That's all she said, and gave me this little hug. So I said, oh. 5 years later, I see on Instagram, because I was a realtor and she saw me. it announced that she's married. And it was to a woman.
Oh.
And I said, oh. So even when she would talk to me about a relationship, she was never talking about a guy because she never would say it. And I think the person's name was Tony, but it was a woman. So I never really, in looking at her outer beauty, I just, in my mind, and how she would kind of flirt. So men, beware. Women, even if they want a woman, they still can flirt and get you. So you gotta know the real person. And she had, and I didn't know that's what it was, but she wanted to make sure that we were just friends. So that's why she wouldn't let me pay.
Right.
And also,
Wow.
and I hate to say this, and this may sound judgmental, I know that she was the dominant person in that relationship. For that, I know.
But here's the deal. She could have just said that, Jabril, I don't want you to pay because I don't want it to be taken out of context that we're more than friends. And if she had had the conversation with you, then you both would have just rotated who was paying and kept it moving.
Plus, she had this other person that I'm telling you that I would have dated and she could have hooked me up. I just did. So I didn't want to go either way and mess myself up. But I would have asked for the hookup if we were going to be homies. But, with those kind of things, you just don't know. But hey, I mean, that's how it is. So I just want to say that a takeaway from this, if anybody hears this, is men, don't matter how powerful or glorious this woman looks as an independent woman, she's still a woman, she's still a human, and she's by herself. And years ago, she was a little girl trying to figure it out, and maybe still trying to figure it out. So don't let the accolades and the independence outer, they all still have needs. It may not be monetary, but it's definitely necessary, whatever those needs are. And our job is to listen, not assume, and find out how to love that woman or your woman based on what her needs are. That's it.
I have a final question for you.
Come on.
What are some misconceptions men have about independent women that keep them from wanting to approach a woman? Like, what makes them intimidated by independent women? Or what are the perceptions that men have about independent women?
I'll tell you some of them. I mean, I'm gonna go deep. I mean, this is even though it's a Sunday, I got to go deep. But one thing is, they feel that they're more masculine, quote unquote, could be crazy, could be confrontational, won't be willing to lead, can have a harsh tongue. This is just the idea, the stereotype. That's whether you're African American, no matter what race. These are just how people see it. Could take you for everything. Impatient, controlling. The same things that men we're accused of. You're thinking now you met your match, and this is a person who just has hair and a pretty smile. So everything combative and will punish you. So that could be sexually, or may say, because I have this and that, I don't have to do all the tricks and all of that because that's not what I need to do. So that sexual component is huge when men look at women who are independent, because they're not looking at that woman as in a sexual way, as opposed to more as they got to compete with her or fight with her. So you don't think about the bedroom. You don't know if she'll even give you what you want. And that is why you've seen when men cheat, you see some of the women that he might be the woman at the chickens, the carry out, because you see the difference. It's night and day, the lover versus the wife.
Right.
Oh yes, that's what they see. So one thing is they don't feel that woman will be the quote unquote in the bedroom because of all of the other things she quote unquote has to offer.
Interesting.
I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I'm just telling you. But the locker room says.
Well, that's why you're here, to help us navigate what are men even thinking about, right?
That's right. But I want to know what you think in terms of or sharing with them. I mean, this is a great episode, but I want to know, or you tell them, because I know what they have to look out for this next Sunday.
Well, next Sunday, we are going to do a replay episode. And our replay episode, which will be
It should be
Sunday.
Sunday. It would be, let me check the calendar. Let's make sure we have it on track because it will be Sunday the 1st.
Yeah, September 1st. It'll be a replay episode of episode 17, Dating Abroad.
Oh, okay. I remember you had a story for that. So there's,
Oh, definitely. Dating abroad there. So
get ready.
well, what I will say, my closing reflection, I would say, this is for the independent women as well as the men that are looking to possibly approach an independent woman. So for all my independent ladies, it's okay to be independent. Independent serves us well in business, in career, in life in general with friends. It helps us navigate. It helps us regulate emotions and feelings. But here's where that can get you into some problems. If you want a man to lead, you have to be the lady. You can be the leading lady, but you cannot be the leading man.
That's right.
So just as tough as we can be just as soft, and we should want to be. It makes when I've had men in my life, it makes them feel really good when I let them be the hero. Really good. And I like him being the hero. I love him opening the doors, every door. I love him telling me my outfit looks nice and that I'm beautiful and all the wonderful things that come along with it. I don't have to match his energy. I just need to match the love.
Interesting. And respect him, because that's all we really want more is respect. You want the love and nurturing.
And we want love and respect too, but it's that tug of war that we take ourselves to run unnecessarily. As a matter of fact, the more independence you show, he's going to have a hard time trying to find where he fits. So that's another reason why you want to dial it back or find a nice even balance that says, no, babe, I need you. I want you. I need you. I need you in this way. And just be specific about it. Like he's going to do some things wrong, and so are you. But for the things that he does right, highlight those things so you can see more of it. And the things that you want him to do, nagging is not going to get him there.
That's right.
It's not. So combative, all the negative connotations that Jabril spoke about. We have a way of being those things in different times and different spaces. So it's just something to be mindful of. And, we've come from various different backgrounds and been through various different things. Just remember, the man you used to date is not the man you're dating right now. So if you're in a healed place, you can recognize when you have something better. And for my men, I would say, don't come rushing in trying to save the day, Captain Save One. Every woman doesn't need to be saved, but every woman needs to be loved.
That's right. Remember that. Every woman doesn't need to be saved, but every woman needs to be loved. And may I have the last word?
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Erica, for this wonderful podcast. And it's the Real Jabril, co-host, and we would love for you to subscribe now to the Purpose and Powerful podcast on YouTube or a surftheside.com website, TikTok, or our Facebook page. And if you can't make it live or missed a previous episode, that's okay. Just listen to the Powerful Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify. And we'll see you soon. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Good night.
Thank you.